Hello, everybody. Welcome to Metaphysical Mondays. If you are new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you for all of my current followers who are supporting me. I really appreciate all of you. So I want to talk today about mild physical pain, especially physical pain that's located in the chest area near the heart, and how suppressing your emotions can actually manifest into that physical tightness that you can feel there at times, right? So, I have a lot of people who suffer from anxiety and overthinking and high tension and nervousness talk about physical pain in the chest area. And something that's really important to understand is that your body is like a cup. And as you suppress your emotion, the cup begins to fill up and fill up and fill up. And then what usually happens is you get to this point where your cup is overflowing and you actually don't have any more room for anything, okay? And so your cup starts to overflow. And so what that can look like emotionally is that can look like you reacting after being triggered. It can look like a meltdown, like an emotional meltdown of like lots of tears and yelling. It could look like, we see it in children sometimes when they have what we call a tantrum. A tantrum for children is actually, I am having all of these really heavy emotions and I don't really know how to deal with it, right? So adults have tantrums too. Okay. And it's just something that happens when our cup is full and overflowing. And so what I want you to think about is if this is you're nodding your head and you're like, yeah, like sometimes I do get chest pain, like we all do, right? We all get different pain in different parts of our body. If that is you, if you don't, great, wonderful. I'm happy to hear that. But if you do, I want you to think about what's actually going on inside of you emotionally. What are you suppressing? These are the things to ask yourself. What emotions am I suppressing right now? What emotions are actually trying to come out? How am I preventing myself from being really vulnerable in this moment with myself? You don't have to be vulnerable. Here's the thing with healing is you don't have to be vulnerable with other people. You can sit and be vulnerable with yourself and still not allow yourself to be vulnerable and still not allow yourself to feel those heavy emotions that are trying to come out. So what happens is they build up here because they're trying to get out, just like, when you're at the top, right at the top of the bottleneck and you're like about to shoot out, that's what's going on here. So they stir and they create these pockets. Yeah, they create these pockets and then something will poke those emotions and they will erupt. But what's really important is that you understand is you don't want to get to that point, right? Because when you erupt in anger and rage, it's really, really damaging to the nervous system. It really affects you in a really negative way. So I want you to practice being vulnerable with yourself. And I want you to just sit. And even if you don't have any pain there in the chest, I want you to just sit and try and be vulnerable and really just tune into your heart. And try and open it. Literally visualize. You can visualize a flower trying to open, right? And just check in and see, like, what's trying to get out here? What emotions are trying to escape? What do I need to let go of right now to create a little bit of space in my physical body for some good stuff to come in? What emotions have I been trying to suppress? And if you are somebody who struggles from suppressing their emotions, I have a whole bunch of webinars on my YouTube channel that you can search for, where I take you through a process so you can understand what your anger is all about, what your grief's all about, what your rage is all about, right? So you can just search for them in my channel. But it's really important that you let these emotions out, because what happens is when we hold on to them, it's the opposite of what we think is going to happen. We hold on to them because like, no, I don't want to let it out, because if I let it out, I'm going to have a goddamn meltdown, right? But it's actually in the holding on to them that we more easily have a meltdown. Whereas if you just sit and be vulnerable, yes, it's painful. I know it's bloody painful to feel these emotions and to feel these pockets of emotions that we've suppressed for years, right? And maybe months or whatever it is. But when you feel it and you just sit there in it and you allow yourself to hold space for yourself and feel it, the beautiful thing is that they begin to dissolve and disperse. Yeah. And it creates all this space inside of you and you feel better. You actually physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally feel better. Because what you're actually doing is you're unhooking this 30, 40 kilos of weight that you've been carrying inside of you. And I mean metaphysical kilos. Yeah, I don't mean these physical kilos. I mean metaphysical kilos. So imagine if they were actually physical kilos and you were, everywhere you went, you took these 40 kilos with you because you were holding on to these emotions. So every time you moved at work, you're dragging these 40 kilos around. Every time you go outside to play with your kids, you're dragging the 40 kilos around. Every time you go to do exercise, you're dragging the 40 kilos around. This is exactly what it's like. That's why sometimes when you have a cry, you feel better. Okay? So this is what I really want you to start thinking about when you have pain, discomfort, tightness, and breathing. How often do you breathe? Like really breathe. Like, I mean, really sit here and take deep breaths. Yeah, like do you do breath work? Because if you have some pain here, breath work can be amazing for that. And it can help you release emotions, and you don't even have to say a word. It is all done through your breath. So Wim Hof has the breath work that I use. It's really powerful. It gets in really deep. It shakes things up. It actually helps you to really, really release and let go of those heavy emotions. So sit with it, feel it, and allow it to disperse. And if you want to take it one step further, you can ask your pain what it's about. Why are you here right now? Why are you here in my body? Why are you sitting in my chest? What's the discomfort about? Is it physical or is it emotional? Am I suppressing or am I trying to release? Yeah. And as you sit with this stuff, you'll get the answers to it because you're a highly intelligent being. Okay. So if you liked this video and it helped, please let me know in the comments below. If you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe. And if you did find this information helpful, or you want me to do a video about something different or something similar, drop a comment below and let me know, and I'll make a video for you. Sending you guys so much love, and I'll see you next Monday.